forward to the computer because it's easier. Okay, so let's take a look at our, Jaden, you can see the edge elastic, right? Over here.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure that I was sharing the right screen just because my controls look a little bit different. So, perfect. So, since it's only really me and you, Jaden, do you want to, we can do this one of two ways. We can do it where I'm just going to go through all the answers, or I can ask you questions and we can go through it together. What do you think? What do you think?
Half and half.
Okay, perfect. That's a good sort of meet in the middle. Okay. So this guy actually isn't too bad if we look at number 12. So number 12, it says refer to the equation below. 5x plus 10y is equal to 250. So if x is equal to 5, what is the value of y? Show all your work using the scratch pad or like a separate piece of paper. So if I know that x is equal to 5, what can I do with that equation? I can, and I know that 5 is equal, x is equal to 5. So I can take that equation and I can plug 5 in where? I can plug 5 in for my x. So I can rewrite this as 5 times 5 plus 10y equals 250. Okay? And then 25 plus 10y is equal to 250. Get that y by itself, we need to undo our addition and subtraction first. So we're going to subtract 25 on each side. We're going to be left with 10y is equal to how much, Jaden?
$725.
Nope, minus 250 minus 25. Well, look at it, Jaden. So we have, let me go back a step. Okay, so we have 25 plus 10y, because you plug in 5 for x, you get 25 plus 10y is equal to 250. So then what's my step to get the y by itself? What would we do to each side?
Eliminate.
Nope, reverse PEMDAS. So got Jaden, this is content that we've been learning all the way from the beginning of the year, not just eliminations. This is systems of equations. Okay, I'm just gonna go through it, Jaden, because I'm recording this for everybody else, so I can't have 5 minutes of dead air inside the video. So 5x plus 10y is equal to 250 is what we started with. We know that x is going to be equal to 5, so I'm going to come in here and plug 5 in for x. 5 times 5 plus 10y is equal to 250. Okay? 5 times 5 gets me 25 plus 10y is equal to 250. Okay? From there, to get the y by itself, I'm going to subtract 25 from each side. Okay? Those cancel out on the left. I'm left with 10y is equal to 225. Okay? Then I know that my y is attached to that 10 is attached to my y through multiplication. So to undo that and get my x by itself, I have to divide by 10, divide by 10. Y is going to be equal to 225 divided by 10. If you grab your calculator, 225 divided by 10 is 22.5. So y is equal to 22.5. Okay. For this one here below, letter B, we are going to do the same thing, plug in but this time we're going to plug in 3, 4, y and solve it. Okay, I'm not going to do that one out because that is something that we should be able to do using this example that I just did here. But you're plugging 3 in for y this time. Okay. Let's take a look at the next one here. Okay. It says select all equations that are equivalent to, and then we have 10x plus 2, 12, is equal, or divided by 4, is equal to 6 plus parentheses 8x plus 24. So if I look at this equation here, and I say to myself, and I have to compare all of these guys and see, are they equivalent? So if I look at this first equation here, and I'm looking at and comparing this guy A, if I look at my left side here, how does it change from here to here? We are multiplying, so we got rid of this divide by 4, so we would be multiplying by 4. Did I multiply by 4 on my left side? I had originally a 6 times 4 is 6 times 4 is 24. 8 times 4, 8 and 8 is 16. 16 and 16 is 32. And 24 times 4 is 96. Plus, this should be a plus as well. Is that equivalent to what is over here? No, this guy, we have a minus here. Somehow we got a minus in here. That's not going to be equivalent. Okay. Now, if we look at B, we come. If we look at the change on this one, B here. So this guy was a no. Okay. If you look at the change on from here to here, it's staying the same. Okay. So if we look at the change from our right side to our right side here, somehow we got a 38x. If I were to say distribute or do something with this or combine my like terms, I have a 6 plus 8x plus 24. Combine my like terms, this would combine to 8x plus 30. Right? So there is, I don't know, I have no idea how they got this 38x. That's not going to be a 1, that's going to be equivalent. Now, if I look at this one here, the move from the left side here, the move to the left side here, it looks like we have a 10 divided by 4, we have the divide, and then we have a smaller number here, so we did 12 divided by 4 to get this 3. So we actually did our division here. That is a logical move. You can rewrite division like this as 10x divided by 4 plus 12 divided by 4 to get to that plus 3. Good. Now, if we look at this one here, D, this one we got rid of the division, so we multiplied. If you multiply, it's not going to be canceled. That one is not equivalent. And then this last one, we did nothing to the left side here. We combined our like terms on the right. We have a 6 plus an 8x plus 24. These two combine together to get a 30 plus 8x. And that is what is written here. So the two that are equivalent, the two that you should have selected are E and C. The other ones are not equivalent. Okay. Number 14. Okay, Jaden, now I have a question for you. I have this equation here. It says A times B plus C is equal to D. It says we need to solve the literal equation for B. So what does that mean in the end? We're going to have to get it for B what? So it says solve for B. So what are we going to have to do here?
Figure out how much the other variables are worth?
Are there any numbers that are given to me?
No.
No. So we're not going to be able to figure out how much all the other variables are worth. But when it says solve for something, that means we need to get that B by itself. So that means we need to manipulate this equation, A, B plus C is equal to D, so that B is all by itself. So that means I need to get that C over to the right side. I need to get that A over to the right side. So we need to think about the operations that are going to move those guys. So if I look at this C here, how am I going to move that over to the other side using my opposite operation? Well, what's going on there? What am I doing with that C? I'm adding that C. So to move it over to the other side, I would have to subtract C. Cancels out. I have A times B is equal to D minus C. Okay. Now I need to get the B by itself. So I need to undo that multiplication that's attaching my A. Undo that multiplication by dividing by A. Divide by A. I'm going to get left with B is equal to D minus C divided by A. If you were to type it in this box here, you would type it in with parentheses, D minus C divided by A. Okay. Oh, I don't know what just happened. Oops. Oh no, darn. Okay, that's fine. Give me 1 second here. I don't know where my pencil is. Okay, so let's take a look at this next one here. Okay, so when you're solving for a letter, when it gives you an equation, it says solve for a letter, Jaden, you need to do the opposite operations to get that letter by itself. So you have to move all of those other pieces to the other side by using your opposite operation to get it by itself. Okay, now let's take a look at the next piece here. Okay, so I'm going to try to find my pen. Hey, Melina, if you go back into the quiz, it should be open. If you have any questions, let me know. Max, it should be open. If you have any questions or are having trouble getting in, let me know, okay? Wonderful. So we have this guy here, and it says to get snacks for the class trip, Claire went to the bulk section of the grocery store where she can buy any quantity of a product and the prices are usually good. Claire purchased some salted almonds for $6 a pound and some dried figs for $9 per pound. She spends $75 before tax. Here is the graph for the situation. Okay, so this graph represents this scenario. We need to look at these 4 statements here and decide, are they true about this graph? Is it true? So if you look at the question or point number 1 here, it says point D is not a solution to the scenario. Is that a true statement, Jaden? What do we think? It says, Point D is not a solution to the scenario. We're looking at this point D right here. Is point D not a solution to the scenario?
No, it isn't. It's not on the line.
Yes, Jaden McGibbon, exactly. So that is a true statement because it's not a solution. Good. So you would select that one because that one is not a true, it is a true statement. Good. Now, let's look at the second one. It says if Claire buys 11 pounds of almonds, she can buy 2 pounds of dried figs. So which of our axes here, Jaden, are y-axis or our x-axis? Or no, I switched them up. Sorry. Our x-axis or our y-axis is talking about almonds.
The x-axis?
Yes. So that means on the x-axis, you're going to look for what number for letter B here?
11 pounds, it looks like.
Good. So we're going to go over to 11. And when we go over to 11, can she buy, if we follow it up to where it hits the line here, does it hit at 2 pounds of dried figs?
No, it hits 1 pound.
Exactly. So that's not a true statement. So what I suggest you do is if you're reading and it's a not true statement. Good, Melina, that's awesome. So then why don't you follow along with the we're gonna do up to 19 for the review, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna strike this guy through because it is not a true statement. So I'm gonna cross it out because it's not true. Okay, now let's look at the next one here. It says, if she buys about 12.3 pounds of almonds, she can buy 0 pounds of dried figs. So if you look at this and you go over to, you have to find 12.3 pounds of almonds. Which axis are you going to look at for the 12.3? Which axis is talking about almonds? No? Okay. So if I'm looking for this 12.3 almonds, that means on my x-axis, I need to go over to 12.3. I would say that's probably there. And that's right. Can she buy 0 pounds of dried figs? So it hits here. 12.3 is like here-ish. If I go over to how many almonds, it's 0. So this is a true statement because when she buys 12.3 pounds of almonds, she can only buy 12 there. Perfect. Now, last one. If she buys 7 pounds of dried figs, she can buy 2 pounds of almonds. Very good, Max. You can hit submit on that and then, or just close it out, and then you can take a look at and follow along with the review here, okay? So it says, if I buy 7 pounds of dried figs, she can buy 2 pounds of almonds. So dried figs is talked about on our y-axis here. That means I need to go up to 7 pounds of dried figs. And I need to see if I can buy 2 pounds of almonds when that happens. So I cross it over to where it hits our line, and it hits it at 2 pounds of almonds. So this is once again another true statement. So for this one, you are going to select A, C, and D. Okay, you didn't want to stay in for that. Perfect, no problem. Okay, so for this one, you're going to have selected A, C, and D. Oh, let me get to where you need to be. So an ice cream shop sells ice cream for $2.50 a scoop plus 75 cents per topping. So let's define some variables that match the scenario. X is going to be, just do them in the order they show up. X is our ice cream, right? Scoops. Number of, if we want to be specific, Y is going to represent our equals the number of topics. Okay, So using these variables defined above, write an equation that represents our total cost. So the total cost of my ice cream, T, is equal to 250 times the number of scoops, X, plus 75 cents times the number of Y toppings that you purchase. Okay, so that would be the equation that matches the scenario, because the total cost T is equal to 2.5 times the X number of scoops of ice cream, because each scoop costs $2.50, times that by the number of scoops, plus 75 cents for each topping, times the number of toppings Y you buy and put on your ice cream. Okay. Now let's take a look at number 17. Okay, let me just move my book forward because I want to make sure that I'm giving you the correct answers. Okay, so now we're looking at 17. Here is the equation, y equals 2x minus 4. Select all the coordinates that represent a solution to the equation. So if we're looking at these 5 coordinate pairs here, right? So 0, 2, x, y, over, up, or down, okay? So this first one says I need to go over 0 up to 2. That would be here. It does not fall on the line, so this is not a true coordinate pair. It does not represent a solution to this equation. Okay. Then if we look at the second one, 0, 4, that means over 0 up to 4. Does not fall on our line, so this is not a solution to this equation. Okay, we look at C. Now we have 2, 0, over 2, up 0, over 2, up 0. It falls on our line, so this one would be a solution to this system. Okay, now we have 3, 4. I'm going to go over to 3, up to 4. Does not fall on our line. It is not a solution to the system or to this actual just equation. And then the last one is, so 4 would actually be here. Sorry, guys. Here. Last one is over 4, up 4, over 4, up 4. Hits our line, so this one would be a solution. The solutions to the systems to this equation are going to be C and E because they fall on the line. Solutions to an equation or a systems of equations fall on the line. Okay. Okay, last 2. Here we go. 18. How long? Okay, let me do this here. Okay, so a fish tank is being drained for cleaning. It currently has 25 gallons of water in it. When draining, it can lose 2 gallons of water per minute. How long will it take the tank to drain to have 16 gallons of water in it? Show your work if you can. I mean, in the scratch pad or like on a piece of paper. So first thing, I have to create an equation for this. So if we're thinking about like the total, like the volume in, or the amount of water in the tank, we could say W, or water, is equal to, we start with 25 and we're losing 2. So 25 is our X, our Y intercept, right? So 25, and what are we gonna do if it's draining out? What's gonna be going on with that 2? Is it gonna have a slope of a positive 2 or a negative 2? No? Okay. It's draining, it's losing that water. So yes, very good, Melina. So it's going to be a slope of a negative 2x, right? And x could be like the number of minutes that we're talking about. So how long is it going to take him or for this tank to empty out all the way? So we're going to plug 16 in for W because we're saying when we have 16 gallons in this tank is going to be where we're going to be looking to figure out how long is it going to take. So we're going to say 16 is equal to 25 minus 2x. To get that x by itself, we're going to subtract 25 from each side first. When you do that, 6 minus 5 is 1. 1 minus 2 is negative 1. So negative 11 is equal to negative 2x. Get the x by itself, get rid of that multiplication by dividing by negative 2. Divide by negative 2. X is equal to, what do we think? First thing I want to say is it's a negative divided by a negative, so it's going to be a positive 5.5. So if we put it, oh, it's going to be 5.5. Close. So it's going to be 5.5. Let me go over to the other side. Let me type this in. 5.5. 5.5, and then our label here is going to be what? 5.5. Oh my goodness, you are right. Minute. Very good. Ow. Let me let Cam in. Hey Cam. So the quiz should be open. So if you go into the assignment list in Edulastic, it should be there. It should be open for you to work in, okay? If you have questions, I will be here and you can help me out. I mean, you can, oh, it equals 9. Oh my gosh, you're right. Good catch, Melina. I'm sorry about that. Oh, she just caught me. Good. So it equals 9. Shireen is, you're right, 9. Negative 9 is equal to negative 2x. Divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. 4.5 is equal to x. So it's going to be 4.5 minutes.
Can the custodian please call extension 3214? Custodian, please call extension 3214.
Thank you for that catch, Melina. Thank you for that, buddy. Awesome job. And then for this second one here, or this one here, we're doing the same thing, except we're going to drain it until there's 10. So this time you're going to plug 10 in for W. 10 is equal to 25 minus 2x. Subtract 25. We get a negative 15 is equal to negative 2x. Divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. X is going to be equal to, oh my goodness, 7.5. Thank you for catching that, Melina. I appreciate that. Woo! 7.5 minutes on that one as well. 7.5, and it's going to have the same label of minutes. Boom. Okay. So now we're using the same information to take a look at C, which is saying now we need to figure out how long is it going to take to have 2.5 gallons in it. So we're going to say to ourselves, 2.5 is equal to 25 minus 2x minus 25. Okay. So 2.5 minus 25 is going to get me negative 22.5 is equal to negative 2x. Divide by 2, divide by 2, negative 2. is going to get me 11.25 is equal to x, 11.25 minutes. Cam, were you able to get in, buddy? Okay, so we had to write the equation for the relationship between the time passing. We already talked about that. We said W is equal to 25 minus 2x. Because for every m minute that passes, we lose 2 gallons from that original 25 gallons. 25 minus 2m is equal to W. If you were to write it like this, 25 minus 2m equals W, that means the same thing. Okay? If you were to use the variables x and y, that would also be accepted as well. Okay? So now we're going to use this equation to decide and to calculate how long is it going to take, how much is going to be left after we let it drain for 4 minutes. So now instead of plugging 4 in for W here, we're plugging 4 in for our minutes. So 25 minus 2 times 4 is going to be equal to the amount of water in the tank. 25 minus 8 is equal to our W. 25 minus 8 is 17 gallons. W. So 17 gallons on that one there. Okay. And then the last one, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to plug 6 in for W again. You're going to be left with 25 minus 2 times 6 this time is going to be equal to W. 25 minus 12 is equal to W. 13 is equal to W. 13 gallons are going to be left. Boom, boom, boom. Nice job. Okay, this last one's going to literally take us 3 seconds. Okay, so last one is we're looking at slide number 19. Looking at this equation, what is the slope? What is our y-intercept? Remember, y equals mx plus b. M is our slope. B is our intercept. In other words, the number attached to our x is our slope. The number that's by itself or our constant is our y-intercept. So if we're looking at this equation here, our slope would be this number attached to our x, 10. And our slope, our y-intercept would be this number by itself, -9. You want to remember to attach that -9 when you are talking about your slope there. Okay. So I know that was I think that was pretty good. I didn't go through all of that. There was like a couple that I didn't go through, but that was just because there were quite a few of very similar questions. Let me just do this real quick.